Salut tout le monde, c'est Dan de Imagination Hobby. J'espère que vous êtes en forme parce que ce soir, on a un gros line-up. Fait qu'allez vous chercher des chips, de la liqueur, une bière, un petit verre de vin parce qu'il va y avoir pas mal de stock. Donc, je suis en train de faire les derniers settings. Je suis en train de jeter un petit coup d'œil. Faire un petit sound check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Avec Patrick qui est déjà avec nous. Tu vas peut-être pouvoir me dire si le son est bon. OK, donc on est aujourd'hui mardi le 7 décembre. On va faire un bref survol de l'actualité, quelques petites nouvelles. On va regarder rapidement les précommandes et les nouveautés en magasin. Donc, si vous ne recevez pas les infolettes que j'envoie depuis environ un mois, généralement, ça part le mardi matin. Donc, vous allez sur notre site imaginationhobby.com, vous allez en haut à droite, là, more info, plus d'infos. Et puis, vous pouvez vous abonner là, à notre newsletter, vous pouvez m'envoyer un petit message. Donc, merci Gabriel, Patrick, Franco. Merci à vous autres. Donc, je vais passer en rafale les précommandes et les nouveautés en magasin pour deux raisons. Parce qu'on a une entrevue, c'est en anglais. Donc, l'entrevue avec Franco Carlismo. C'est un artiste qui travaille pour la compagnie PCS, mais que ça fait quand même assez longtemps qu'il est dans la business de développer des statues. Et on va parler avec lui de l'ensemble du processus, c'est quoi son background, etc. Mais on va parler aussi comment ça se passe, la création des statues, de la conception jusqu'à la production. Donc, on va couvrir ces différentes réalisations. Puis aussi, on va quand même voir des réalisations qui sont propres à lui, que vous pouvez acheter directement sur son site. C'est encore une entrevue en différé. C'est pareil comme auparavant. Avec Fred Sculpteur qui est en France. Franco est en Espagne. Donc, ça va être en différé. Je vais vous partir le vidéo, puis vous pouvez jeter un petit coup d'œil là-dessus. Puis après, je vais revenir closer avec la rencontre. Ça va? Donc, sans plus tarder, on va aller voir les différentes nouveautés. Donc, je vais jeter un petit coup d'œil aussi. Salut Pascal de Las Vegas, toujours fidèle. Fait que, comme je vous dis, là, on en a pour un bon 2 heures selon moi, là, une bonne heure et demie parce que l'entrevue avait duré quand même un certain temps. Donc, fait que je vous présente en rafale les différents produits. Simplement voir qu'on a Black Series 6 pouces, Léa. Yavin, Boba Fett, Titon, Stormtrooper, Jeddah, Mings. Écoute, ça n'arrête plus les noms scientifiques. Donc, on voit ici les différents produits qui sont en précommande. Ça, c'était pas dans le newsletter. Donc, vous pouvez passer les précommandes pour la série au complet. Et généralement, là, vous allez sauver un peu d'argent. Donc, sans plus tarder, qu'est-ce qu'on a? On a le Venom, quasiment 2.0, là, c'est le Venom, ça va être un carnage. Donc, pour ceux qui ont manqué la première version, ça peut être intéressant. Et on a le Sculpt qu'on avait avec le carnage. Donc, c'est quand même un produit intéressant si vous n'avez pas commandé le premier Venom. Après ça, on a Pokémon Premier Ball Réplique de One Company pour les amateurs de Pokémon. On a de NECA, un 6 ou 7 pouces Robocop avec 2 têtes, qui est quand même assez bien réussi, avec quand même pas mal d'accessoires. Donc, si jamais ça vous intéresse, c'est toujours possible de passer des précommandes. Si ça ne vous intéresse pas d'avoir la chaise puis vous voulez payer un peu moins cher, ils font une édition simplement la figurine avec des accessoires un peu différents. Là, je pense que le Sniper Rifle n'était pas disponible dans la première version. On va aller jeter un petit coup d'œil juste pour être sûr qu'on ne dit pas de niaiserie. Et effectivement, donc, si jamais vous voulez avoir l'édition avec le Sniper Rifle, ben, il faut le prendre individuellement. Après ça, on a Spider-Man, une série de 6 figurines dans le look rétro. Donc, on a Spider-Man Ben Reilly. Après ça, on a Symbiote Spider-Man. On a Hobgoblin. Et on a Hammerhead. Et on a Shocker. Donc, c'est des produits qui sont en précommande maintenant. Donc, tardez pas avant qu'il soit trop tard. Et on a la 6e figurine, Spider-Man Armor Mark I Hasbro. Donc, c'est les 6 figurines. Après ça, League of Legends, une statue à l'échelle 1/4 de la compagnie Pure Art. Donc, si vous êtes un fan de la série Pure Arts, c'est quand même une belle statue. Après ça, on enchaîne toujours avec du Hasbro dans le Star Wars 3 pouces 3/4. On a du vintage. Donc, c'est très populaire, la série vintage, avec les cartes old school. Donc, ici, on a Lobot. Après, on a un Rebel Soldier Empire Strike Back. On a la figurine Mithril tirée de Mandalorian. Et on peut voir qu'il semble avoir une espèce de petit hologramme. Personnage que je pense qu'on voit dans le premier épisode de Mandalorian. Je vais juste jeter un petit coup d'œil. Si Maxime, merci. Salut, j'espère que ça va bien. Les petits bébés vont bien. Pascal, ça c'est beau. Patrick, salut, un fidèle. Patrick, j'ai eu tes photos. Je vais essayer de faire peut-être un petit spécial éventuellement sur les produits que tu m'as mentionnés. Et peut-être qu'on pourra regarder, voir là, si on peut avoir une discussion ensemble, étant donné que tu les as déjà utilisés. Alors, un personnage que moi j'avais particulièrement aimé dans la série Mandalorian, et qui est basé sur Nick Nolte. Un peu déçu là, de voir qu'est-ce qui lui est arrivé. Donc, c'est Quill. Je sais pas si je les prononce comme il faut, là, mais après ça, on a Bo-Katan Kryze. Encore une fois, qu'on voit dans la série Mandalorian, mais je pense qu'elle a fait des apparitions dans d'autres séries télévisées. Je pense peut-être plus au niveau de les Clone Wars et compagnie. Et là, on a un 6 pouces, cette fois-ci de Sideshow et non Hot Toys de Crow. Donc, avec différents accessoires, sabre, shotgun, pistolet et le corbeau. Donc, on voit quand même qu'il est assez bien réussi. Donc, les gens qui ont manqué leur chance avec celui du Hot Toys, ben, c'est peut-être une alternative qui peut être intéressante. Et de la compagnie Exo 6, on a Spock. Donc, c'est tiré du Mirror Universe, où est-ce que tous les personnages, dans le fond, ont un alter ego qui est méchant. Donc, c'est un épisode quand même assez intéressant. Et la tête est particulièrement bien réussie. Donc, ça, on a ça en précommande. Fait que ça, on peut voir ici. Après ça, on a The Flash édition standard de la compagnie Twitterhead qui font quand même des excellents produits, souvent old school. Donc, si vous aimez le look original comic book, la compagnie Twitterhead fait des très beaux produits. L'échelle est quand même relativement bien. Là, on parle du 12 pouces. Ce qui fait que c'est pas trop gros, les boîtes sont pas trop grosses. C'est une alternative très intéressante au 1/4 ou même des fois au niveau des Prime One. Après ça, on enchaîne avec un premium format de Sideshow de Nightcrawler. Donc, on va jeter un petit coup d'œil. 23 pouces de haut, 18 de large, 13 de profond. Donc, ça fit dans un Besta, mais possiblement juste une pièce. Quand même assez dynamique comme pose pour les amateurs de Nightcrawler. Après ça, on a de la compagnie Azimuth Toys, Seigneur des Anneaux. Ils ont fait différents produits. Je pense que c'est eux qui ont fait Gandalf qu'on attend. Et là, vous avez tous les accessoires, la deuxième tête qui, ma foi, m'apparaît un peu étrange. J'aime mieux la première tête, là, celle qui est sur le corps. Là. Ça m'apparaît plus réaliste. Quand même assez bien réussi comme head sculpt. Donc, et on continue avec Bayonetta Scarborough Fair. Donc, c'est un prop quand même avec beaucoup de détails. Donc, ça, c'est disponible. Et on enchaîne avec un de mes items favoris, le Alien Pulse Rifle, qui est une réplique de la compagnie Hollywood Collectible. Donc, vous voyez le niveau de détail quand même assez bien réussi. Et vous avez un pied. Donc, vous pouvez soit l'accrocher au mur ou soit carrément la mettre sur un bureau. Donc, ça devient un peu comme une statue si on veut. Donc, c'est un produit quand même assez intéressant. Il l'avait déjà produit, je pense, dans le passé. Je ne sais pas si c'est un reissue ou s'il y a des différences. Il y a deux modèles en passant. Là, je vous présente seulement le modèle ordinaire, on va dire ça comme ça, en bon état. Et il y a une version qui s'appelle Weathered, qui est comme un peu abîmée, pareil comme si elle avait été utilisée. Donc, salut Étienne. Je jette un petit coup d'œil là, dans les différents commentaires. Donc, si jamais vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas. Vous pouvez les mettre dans le chat. Alors, on poursuit avec ArtFX Kotobukiya qui sort une statue de Vader à l'échelle 1.7 qui est, selon moi, un peu à la Ralph McQuarrie parce que lorsque vous regardez, là, c'est sûr que le casque est un peu différent. Donc, ça peut être quelque chose pour les amateurs de Vader. Et par la suite, on enchaîne avec les produits qui sont déjà en magasin. Là, peut-être juste faire un petit clin d'œil là, pour ceux qui cherchent soit des cadeaux de Noël ou qui sont en attente de ces différents produits ou qui n'étaient pas au courant qui sont sortis. Donc, dans Marvel Legends, Captain America Endgame, ça c'est dans une échelle 6 pouces. Par la suite, on a le Wendigo, Marvel's Cannonball. Wendigo, c'est que c'est la personnalité là, que on voit ici qu'il y a une jambe de plus. Donc, c'est le personnage qu'on peut fabriquer. Et c'est le personnage qu'on voit ici, c'est Cannonball. Par la suite, on a un Wolverine, toujours dans la même série. Et on a la figurine Boom Boom. Donc, jetez un petit coup d'œil sur le personnage. Et version un peu rétro, on a Cyclope dans une échelle de 6 pouces. On a Dazzler, toujours dans un look rétro. On a Wolverine rétro. On a Silver Samurai rétro. Et on a Rock Python, qui est de la série Marvel Legends. Après ça, on a Union Jack et le personnage qu'on peut fabriquer avec ces différentes figurines, c'est un Hulk. Ici, on a Loki. On a Beta Ray Bill. Et avec Beta Ray Bill vient les têtes de Hulk. Et dans la série Play Arts, on a Wonder Woman tirée de Batman vs Superman. Toujours dans Play Arts Square Enix, la compagnie ou le jeu vidéo Medal of Honor Warfighter, on a le personnage Preacher, qui sont assez bien détaillés, soit dit en passant. Donc, si vous cherchez quelque chose de quand même relativement abordable, mais avec de la qualité, les figurines Square Enix Play Art sont quand même intéressantes. Puis, présentement, on a dans l'échelle 1 quart, environ 18 pouces de haut, Donatello, plus version cartoon. Et 18 pouces, Michael Myers 2018. Et j'ouvre une parenthèse, on n'a pas encore reçu Halloween Kills, qui est Halloween 2021. Je regardais chez des compétiteurs, des gros compétiteurs aux États-Unis. Ils sont malheureusement pas en stock, ils sont encore en précommande. Il semble qu'il y a des gens qui ont déjà commencé à faire des reviews. Souvent, c'est des gens qui vont acheter ça directement de l'Asie, qui vont même se faire expédier les premières unités de production ou de la pré-production, justement pour faire des reviews. Mais nos commandes sont placées, puis dès que ça rentre, on vous contacte. On est conscient qu'il y a des gens qui ont placé des précommandes en pensant qu'ils étaient pour les avoir pour Noël. Mais comme j'ai mentionné dans plusieurs autres podcasts, présentement, c'est un peu le chaos dans tout ce qui est la logistique, le transport, pas juste pour une compagnie, mais pour l'ensemble des compagnies. Donc, soyez patient, mettez votre argent dans une petite enveloppe parce que quand ça va arriver, ma crainte, c'est que ça débloque et qu'on reçoive plein de produits et puis que là, les gens vont être surpris par le nombre de produits qui arrivent tout d'une shot. Toujours dans la série horreur, Hellraiser, Pinhead, 7 pouces. Un Batarang, une réplique. C'est relativement petit, mais c'est un produit très intéressant qui a été très populaire. Donc, je pense que ça valait la peine d'être mentionné. Et dans la compagnie Tony Terror, on a Jaws et on a différents produits de la série Tony Terror qui sont soit en stock ou en précommande. Après ça, pour les amateurs d'Alien, pour le 40e anniversaire, on a Ripley avec son habit d'astronaute. On a le Alien générique. Donc, ça peut être un cadeau intéressant là, pour Noël. Et on a Lambert là, aussi avec un saut d'astronaute. Et dans la compagnie, pour le film d'horreur, on a Puppet Master Blade and Torch. Et on a un autre personnage, donc Pinhead et Tunnel. C'est des 2-packs, c'est disponible, c'est en magasin. La compagnie NECA, environ 7 pouces. Et on a un Predator 2 Ultimate Battle Damage City Hunter. Quelques-unes de ces figurines, je les ai déjà présentées. Il y a peut-être des gens qui sont déjà au courant. Sauf que des fois, pour des cadeaux de Noël, ou même des fois, ça peut être un échange de cadeaux geek, là, ça peut être intéressant. Donc, on y va avec des produits qui sont quand même populaires. Toujours dans la popularité, on a les casques de Black Series. Donc, il nous reste quelques éditions dans certains cas. Dans d'autres cas, on en a un petit peu plus. Le très populaire casque de Boba Fett qui est en mode électronique avec la visière qui descend. Et si vous voulez faire du cosplay et votre tête n'est pas trop grosse, elle peut fitter à l'intérieur. Et c'est la version qui est normale ou Battle Damage, mais assez connue. Et on attend le même genre de casque, mais la version Repaint. Donc, on continue. Le casque First Order Stormtrooper. On a un casque de Stormtrooper régulier. On en a seulement un exemplaire parce que c'est de la compagnie FX et ils sont relativement dispendieux. Donc, si jamais quelqu'un, ça l'intéresse, on a ça en stock. Et The Mandalorian, très populaire, la version Beskar Armor. Et en terminant, le Darksaber Force FX Elite. Très intéressant, la différence qu'il y a par rapport aux autres lightsabers, en fait, c'est que au lieu d'avoir une lame ronde, c'est une lame qui est plate, un peu comme un sabre. Puis là, je ne sais pas si on peut voir, mais la lame change de couleur, donc il y a des variations de couleurs. C'est quand même assez bien détaillé. Vous voyez, la boîte est quand même gigantesque. Les produits sont assez pesants. C'est pas des jouets, là. C'est vraiment des articles de collection. Vous pouvez même enlever la lame et le mettre sur un genre de trépied comme ça. Donc, vous pouvez le mettre à votre bureau. dans votre salon, dans votre salle de collectibles. Et vous voyez ici le niveau de détail. Donc, c'est des produits qui sont en stock. Donc, si jamais vous êtes intéressé, juste rentrer en contact avec nous. Ça va nous faire plaisir de vous placer des commandes. On expédie pour 15 plus taxes, peu importe ce que vous achetez, en autant que c'est au Canada. Donc, c'est peut-être intéressant de profiter de tout ça. Il y a toujours la possibilité de faire un pick-up en magasin. Donc, on vous met l'article de côté puis vous venez le chercher. On est toujours ouvert les jeudis, vendredis de 11 à 9, samedi 10 à 5. Je vous ai mentionné aussi dans le dernier podcast les heures d'ouverture. On va les adapter sur notre site Internet et sur Google. Donc, on est ouvert le 24 qui est un vendredi jusqu'à 5 heures et le 31 jusqu'à 5 heures aussi. Donc, puis si jamais pour X raison, vous avez le goût d'avoir des collectibles, mais vos amis, votre famille ne sont pas nécessairement au courant de qu'est-ce que vous collectionnez, puis des fois ils ont des doutes, bien, le meilleur exemple, là, c'est d'utiliser un certificat cadeau. Donc, la personne peut l'acheter en ligne, peut venir en magasin, et il va obtenir, dans le fond, un certificat cadeau du montant qu'elle choisit. Donc, il n'y a pas nécessairement de dénomination prédéterminée. Fait que si la personne elle veut vous donner 24$, il y a la possibilité de faire ça. Le certificat cadeau n'expire pas. Il n'y a pas de frais supplémentaires, comme dans certains cas des cartes cadeaux là, qu'on peut acheter des fois dans certains commerces. Donc, c'est vraiment là, vous pouvez l'échanger contre n'importe quel produit en magasin. Alors, ça peut être intéressant là, si jamais vous avez des demandes de cadeaux. Fait que les gens peuvent l'acheter en ligne, venir en magasin ou me contacter là, si jamais ils ont besoin d'informations sur comment procéder. Donc, c'est bon. Alors, j'ai inverti les choses. Là. J'y étais avec les précommandes et les nouveautés. On va prendre un petit 2 minutes pour parler d'actualité. Donc, au niveau de l'actualité, simplement vous dire que vous avez sûrement vu passer ça, mais dans l'éventualité où vous n'êtes pas nécessairement sur Facebook ou vous n'avez pas eu la chance de jeter un coup d'œil, je l'ai quand même mis sur notre site Facebook. Le Rancor n'a pas atteint le seuil pour être produit. Donc, la compagnie Hasbro, dans sa division Hasbro Lab, qui est un genre de Kickstarter, avait annoncé le Rancor. Il semblait être intéressant pour certains, pour d'autres, c'était moins intéressant. Les gens, des fois, n'aimaient pas la peinture. Ou, Hasbro a aussi essayé d'augmenter l'intérêt en rajoutant des perks, là, des avantages, comme je pense il y avait des figurines supplémentaires qui étaient rajoutées. Et malheureusement, j'ai vu passer un message de Hasbro Lab qui disait que finalement, il ne sera pas produit parce qu'ils n'ont pas atteint le seuil. Donc, c'est un peu décevant. Toutefois, ben, c'est comment je vous dirais ça? Dans le fond, c'est un peu ça. Là, quand c'est en mode Kickstarter, c'est assez d'atteindre un certain seuil de financement. Et puis là, on peut débattre, est-ce que le seuil était trop élevé ou quoi que ce soit. Donc, meilleure chance la prochaine fois. Là. J'imagine qu'ils vont sortir d'autres produits parce que je pense que le concept est quand même intéressant de produire des morceaux qui sont quand même relativement gros et qui ne feraient peut-être pas nécessairement de sens là, de vendre ça, par exemple, dans des marchands comme des grandes chaînes ou quoi que ce soit, là, étant donné que c'est gros, c'est dispendieux. C'est pas mal les collectionneurs là, qui vont acheter ce genre de produits-là. Donc, ça, c'est la première chose. La deuxième chose, je travaille fort pour essayer d'avoir ma commande de Sideshow Hot Toys avant Noël. Donc, si tout va bien, ça devrait partir demain. Là, je me croise les doigts. Je croyais que ça aurait parti lundi. Et donc, dès que ça va être en route, je vais contacter les gens là, pour les aviser que ça s'en vient et essayer de trouver des moments là, pour que ce soit disponible pour les personnes avant Noël. Là. Dans certains cas, des fois, c'est pour faire des cadeaux et tout. Donc, on travaille fort là, pour closer ça. Pascal dit Sideshow en fait un, je crois. En fait, ils en ont fait un à l'échelle 1.6 qui était gigantesque. Et là, ils en font un modèle un petit peu plus petit. Le modèle à l'échelle 1.6 est déjà, je crois, sold out. Puis il n'y avait pas grand-chose en termes il y avait très peu d'unités. Là. Je pense que c'était en bas de 1000. Étienne dit on veut voir ta collection. Dan, s'il vous plaît. Écoute, je travaille fort là-dessus. C'est une job incroyable. Je vous le dis, c'est vraiment pas l'approche à prendre d'acheter des collectibles puis de les garder dans les boîtes puis de se dire un jour ça va être je vais être installé puis je vais les sortir. Là. Si vous faites ça 1 an, c'est pas pire. Si vous faites ça 3 ans, c'est pas pire. Mais faites pas ça 10, 15 ou 20 ans. C'est un cauchemar. Donc, mais ça s'en vient. Ça s'en vient. Ça progresse. J'ai d'ailleurs pris une semaine de congé avant Noël pour essayer de donner un dernier coup là-dessus. Je ne sais pas si je vais arriver à avoir terminé, mais en tout cas, ça avance bien. Et on va avoir besoin de mon ami Gabriel qui est dans le chat pour m'assister là-dedans. Donc, fait que c'est ça. L'autre chose aussi que je vais annoncer, on a commencé à rentrer des produits Games Workshop qui a principalement 2 jeux un peu à la Donjons et Dragons, si on veut. Là, c'est-à-dire qu'ils appellent ça en anglais du tabletop miniature. Donc, c'est des figurines d'environ, je dirais, peut-être 3-4 cm, là, 5 cm. Il y a 2 catégories. Tu as le monde fantastique, genre médiéval, avec des dragons, des vampires, etc., qui s'appelle Age of Sigmar. Et l'autre volet qui est l'univers de Warhammer 40 000 qui se passe dans le futur, où est-ce que là, tu as des Space Marines, des Space Orcs, des Tau, des Necrons qui sont des races toutes différentes et qui s'affrontent. Donc, c'est la guerre dans le monde médiéval, dans le monde fantastique, ou c'est la guerre dans le domaine de la science-fiction. Après ça, ils ont sorti plein de petits jeux qui sont à plus petite échelle. Par exemple, un jeu que j'aime particulièrement qui s'appelle Necromunda, qui est une gang, tu as 1000 points. Fait que tu as des livres, ça vient avec des livres, tu as des figurines que tu dois assembler, que tu dois peinturer. Ce qui est le fun, c'est que tu peux les assembler, puis les monter, puis les peinturer comme tu veux. Tu peux décider de faire des conversions, c'est-à-dire prendre des têtes avec quelqu'un qui a une espèce de mohawk, puis les mettre sur une autre gang. Donc, faire des choses qui sont très, très uniques, très particulières, très propres à chaque individu. Et ça devient quand même très intéressant. L'avantage qu'il y a dans Necromunda, par rapport à, mettons, Warhammer 40 000, c'est que tu as la possibilité, avec 1000 points, d'aller dans des livres, puis tu as des règlements à conserver, c'est-à-dire tu as besoin d'un leader, tu as besoin de, mettons, 3 gangers, puis le reste, tu peux prendre soit des juvéniles qui coûtent un peu moins cher, mais qui ont moins d'expérience, qui sont moins habiles. Tu peux prendre des armes lourdes qui sont avec toi. Fait que tu vas configurer ton équipe comme tu veux. Et après, ben, tu joues une partie qui peut prendre, mettons, de 1 à 3 heures, dépendamment de la complexité des scénarios. Et après ça, tu vas gagner des points, tu vas rouler sur des tables pour aller chercher soit des articles, un peu comme dans les jeux vidéo, là, où tu vas chercher de l'or, puis tu arrives au village, puis tu t'achètes une épée. C'est la même philosophie où est-ce que tu vas acheter des armes supplémentaires. Tu peux même recruter des chasseurs de primes qui coûtent plus cher, mais qui ont des super skills et qui vont travailler pour toi. Donc, il y a une espèce de profondeur et c'est relativement moins dispendieux, par exemple, que, mettons, Age of Sigmar ou Warhammer 40 000, où est-ce que là, des fois, tu peux avoir des armées de 1000, 2000, 3000, 5000, 10 000 points Et là, si tu achètes beaucoup de produits, ce qui est le fun, c'est que ça donne un méchant look quand tu joues une campagne ou une guerre de 2-3 000 points, puis tu as toutes tes unités, etc. C'est quand même quelque chose d'intéressant. Donc, c'est des produits qu'on a en magasin. On n'a pas la sélection au complet, mais on a quand même des produits pour vous aider à démarrer. On a un peu de peinture, on a des pinceaux, de la colle, toutes sortes d'accessoires. Et là, vous avez vu dans les dernières semaines que j'ai présenté des gens qui font eux-mêmes leur tête, qui font on va voir tantôt un sculpteur. Fait que ça m'a remis un peu dans l'ambiance là, de créer puis de concevoir des choses. Et je viens d'ouvrir une entente avec un fournisseur qui peut nous approvisionner en produits de hobby shop un petit peu plus haut de gamme. Donc, si les gens, par exemple, veulent avoir un aérographe, veulent avoir un compresseur, veulent avoir de la peinture, différentes sortes de peinture, présentement, on a de la peinture Game Workshop de Citadel. Si des gens veulent avoir d'autres genres de produits, ça va être possible sur précommande. Donc, il y a peut-être des éléments aussi qu'on va rentrer. Alors, fait que si vous faites des conversions pour vos figurines 1.6, vous voulez réparer des statues, vous voulez embarquer dans l'univers de Warhammer 40 000 ou Age of Sigmar, Necromunda ou peu importe les différents jeux, on va être votre source numéro 1 là, pour vous approvisionner comme on fait au niveau des figurines. Fait que ça, c'est quand même quelque chose d'intéressant. On est en train de regarder là présentement, je pourrais avoir différentes sortes de peintures, dont Army Painter, la peinture AK, que je connais moins, mais que je vais jeter un coup d'œil, mais qu'on me dit que est quand même très, très populaire là, au niveau des modélistes. Et je regarde aussi pour la peinture Vallejo, qui est quand même très connue là, dans le domaine du hobbyiste. Alors, surprenez-vous pas si des fois sur la chaîne de Facebook, je vais poster différentes vidéos. Je viens d'en mettre un aujourd'hui là, qui montre comment peinturer des têtes, qui semble quand même très intéressant. Fait que c'est encore là, si jamais vous avez des demandes spéciales ou il y a des produits qui vous intéressent, ce fournisseur-là peut nous approvisionner en Bandai, Aoshima, des Gundam. Donc, si les gens, des fois, sont intéressés, il y a des choses qu'on peut précommander. Donc, ça va nous faire plaisir là, de vous approvisionner dans ces différents produits-là. Donc, ça fait un peu le tour au niveau de l'actualité. Je ne sais pas si vous avez des questions. Donc, ici, c'est bien, il n'y a pas de lag. Excellent. Et la bonne nouvelle, c'est qu'il y a une bonne mais une mauvaise nouvelle. Donc, la moins bonne nouvelle, c'est que l'entrevue que j'ai avec Franco Carlismo d'Espagne, évidemment, est en anglais parce que je ne parle pas espagnol et il ne parlait pas français. Donc, simplement pour vous dire que l'entrevue va se dérouler en anglais. Je vais revenir après. Fait que s'il y a des éléments que vous avez moins bien compris ou quoi que ce soit, vous pouvez me poser des questions, ça va me faire plaisir. Je vais quand même monitorer le chat, donc je vais pouvoir intervenir. Vous comprenez que les questions que je vais lui poser, c'est en différé, donc c'est déjà préenregistré. Et puis, mais vous allez voir, c'est vraiment malade. Les projets sur lesquels il a travaillé, là, puis j'aimerais vraiment voir son talent. C'est vraiment sharp. Puis ça va vous donner aussi un petit bagage, comment je vous dirais ça, l'arrière-scène de tout ce qui est la production des statues. Donc, c'est très intéressant. Ça marche? Alors, je vous pars ça immédiatement. Salut, c'est Dan de Imagination Hobby. On a une entrevue ce soir avec Franco Carlismo, qui est de l'Espagne. Donc, il y a encore du décalage horaire et l'entrevue va se faire en anglais. Donc, sans plus tarder, je vais vous introduire Franco. So, hi Franco, nice to meet you. It's the very first time that we have a chat together. I saw some of your work online and tried to reach out to you, and here we are. So
hi everybody. Hi Daniel. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
This is the first time we talk.
Yeah.
So
is
hope it goes well.
Is it your first time that you get an interview for your work?
No, actually, luckily I have done quite a few.
Yeah.
By this time, you get used to with the time.
Yeah. Is it possible? I think I saw something. Was your work published in a magazine or something?
Yeah, some time ago, like 2 years ago, I think.
Okay.
In a 3D magazine. Yeah, something that I did for the ZBrush. For Pixel. The ZBrush is a software that I use for doing the 3D sculpting.
Okay.
And an image that I did for the beta test was selected, and then I don't know, people from the magazine saw it and they pick it up to display it on the magazine. That was really cool. I have the magazine somewhere around here.
Okay, cool. So basically, one of the reasons why I reached out to you is that I saw some of the stuff that was published on your website, on the Facebook page. This is the photo, but you also have like a art station, and I noticed that you were the artist that made the pumpkin head for PCS that is distributed by Sideshow. So that's the case?
Yes, it is correct.
Okay, so we'll get back to that because, that's one of the very, very character that I like a lot. And so we'll get back to that. But if you tell us a little bit more about yourself, do you, how long have you been sculpting in 3D? I guess it's with ZBrush and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing 3D art for over 15 years now. Probably I'm 37, and I started doing 3D around when I was 23, 24, something like that. And basically the past 5 years I've been focusing only on collectibles, like doing all the statues and like the pumpkin and stuff like that. But previously I used to live where I'm living now in Barcelona. I used to live in Argentina when my hometown is Mar del Plata. And back there, what I did for living was I was a 3D journalist, you can say. I used to work a lot in commercials, like advertising.
Okay.
Because over there you have to do everything, and I used to do modeling, animation, rigging, VFX, whatever I had to survive. Okay. But eventually, it was really enjoyable to do commercials because you jump to from different projects all the time, so you never get bored. You don't spend 4 or 5 years in a single game or a movie or stuff like that. But after, well, I don't know, around 10 years, I got tired of that, and I decided to focus on one of the fields. What I liked the most was modeling, so I put all my effort into that, and eventually I started getting jobs as modeling for collectibles. My God, sorry, my English is not my first language, so sometimes I mess the
that's
words,
okay.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So, so did you have like a formal teaching and school for art?
I studied illustration for when I was young, but it wasn't really very good, to be honest. I didn't learn much in that school, but I spent a lot of time, studying from books, tutorials, online, whatever I could find, and I keep studying actually all the time, because learning anatomy and sculpting I think is for life. I'm always going to be studying anatomy.
Okay.
But it was mostly, it's not I don't like to call it self-taught, because I learned from other people and books and stuff like that. So it was, I don't know how you could say it, but
you didn't go
myself,
like
with the help of
You didn't go like 5 years, like at school for learning arts?
I did went for illustration, not for 3D.
Oh,
3D
okay.
it was all by myself. Yeah, I did went for illustration, but that was it. 4 years.
Okay.
I still don't know how to draw. So.
And about sculpting, did you ever took like a class for to sculpt with clay and stuff like that before going to digital?
No, not really. When I was really really young, I used to do like ceramic.
Okay.
But that was it. I never really took a class. I don't even know how to make an armature correctly, like to support the clay.
All right, cool. And so you went, and now you're using software to do sculpting in 3D, basically.
Yes, I love it. It's called ZBrush.
Okay.
And I've been using it since version 3.
Okay.
We're now in 2022. Yeah. But yeah, I've been using it for over 10 years.
It's I just recently was enrolled in a class like ZBrush for beginner, and I have no artistic background, no 3D training whatsoever, for video game and stuff like that. And most of the students came from the game industry or the movie, or had a background being infographist, Photoshop and stuff like that. So I had no knowledge of that. It was insane how complicated it is. It is insane how complicated it is. But now I've kept at it and, searching on the web, and I found a software that you can use on an iPad called Nomad Sculpting.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so it's sort of like ZBrush, but maybe downscale. And so you don't need to have like a tablet or something, because the iPad acts as the graphic tablet. So, I bought a course during Black Friday that is supposed to be very, very good. So I'm going to try, but, my capacity is doing like matchstick drawing and stuff like that, so basic, it's insane. But
yeah, but I mean, don't worry. Everybody has to start at some point. It's not like when I started, I knew what I was doing. I had no idea. It took years to get where I am now.
Yeah.
So if you enjoy it and you like it, you just keep at it.
Exactly. But my goal is for a limited scope of project. I don't have like ambition of creating something that is existing, because I think that's pretty hard. I mean, if you build something that nobody ever saw before, that's one thing. But like for you to go and sculpt a pumpkin head or the face of an actor or something like that, then I think the bar is higher, But
oh yeah, you don't get criticized, talking, because nobody can compare what you're doing to some pre-existing thing.
Exactly, that's your own design. But my goal right now is to be able to scan, because like I told you, I'm a collector. I do have like a store where people buy collectibles, and most of the time they come like with two heads, so one head goes on the figure, and the extra head, well, you either have to put it in the box. But as I saw, like Prime One, they're making a small display to put the so my goal is to actually have the means to scan digitally the second head, maybe. How it's key, there's like the key to
something that can fit there.
Yeah, so in order to import it, so even if it's not like a super detail, at least I will have like this part to be like a boolean, and to make the hole for maybe the base, and try to fool around with that, and obviously then 3D print the base, and now you have like some type of stand to put your second head on that
Yeah,
type of
that's a
stuff.
perfect idea. Yeah, that would be useful for a lot of people. I see a lot of collectors that complain about not knowing what to do with the second head or whatever.
Exactly.
And a lot of them also, it's not like they don't like the second head or something like that. They would like to display it from time to time, but they don't have a place to put it. So maybe it goes back into the box, and then they never display it again.
Yeah, because
So having a little stand for it, I'm sure a lot of people will love that.
yeah, and you cannot build like a generic stand because all type of heads, they have like different angles, different key,
No, yeah,
different size of key. So you have to. So that's one of my project. I'm older than you, so hopefully retirement is not that far away. So instead of going golfing, it's going to be fooling around with this. But can you share which company you did some work with?
Yeah, currently I'm working a lot for PCS.
Okay.
I don't know if you know. I did some stuff for other companies as well, like Figurama, Semic. What else? What else? I need to remember the names. Well, those are some of the main ones. I have done stuff for different ones, but maybe they're not as popular.
Yeah, okay. But so PCS is distributed by Sideshow, but you're not making any product for Sideshow per se.
Yeah, not at the moment. No. I actually had my own project that I did with Kinetickets. It's called Mom. That is a creature design that I did that was also distributed by Sideshow, for example.
Okay.
But no, I'm not working directly with Sideshow.
Okay. And how does
I have a lot of friends that work with Sideshow.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned PCS. Do you have a chance to talk with different artists at PCS?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Because I got the Rambo 2 1/3 scale from PCS. That's part of my collection. You didn't work on that design.
No. I'm started working this year with PCS, and that was made, I think, last year.
Maybe before.
Or maybe before, right?
Yeah, maybe 2-3 years, sort of.
Yeah. No. So no, definitely no. I started working with them this year.
Oh, this year. Okay. So we can expect new stuff from you down the road then.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing quite a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's super fun.
So how does it work for a guy who switched to advertising? Obviously, you probably had a good portfolio and stuff like that. You probably did your own project and stuff. How do you end up working for a company like PCS? Do they seek you out? Do you have to apply? How does it work?
Well, in this case, they seek me out by it was referral. Like I think that's how you call it.
Yeah.
A guy that I never talked to. He saw my work, and he was doing, or he's still doing, some paint jobs for them, for the prototypes. And he, from what I was told by the big boss Anthony, I was recommended by him, by Lewis William, and it started from there. From that one started from them, and then other stuff that I did for Semic or Figurama or other companies. It was mostly they reach out to me. They saw my portfolio and they reach out to me. I think they mostly see it probably in ArtStation or Instagram, actually them as well.
Okay.
It was always them reaching out to me, luckily.
Okay. So
yeah, because the times that I send portfolio they never call back.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So now they reach to you, and do they ask you for a special project, or is it your ideas, or because obviously they have to have like licensing and stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everything that we do as sculptors is always a team effort. It's never it's very rare, but it's mostly it's not. It's our own ideas. Usually they have art director and somebody that is handling the concept art, stuff like that. And then our work is mostly to translate that concept art to the 3D work. And we obviously we have our input. We change things here around because concept art is 2D, and we're translating it to 3D. And some things that are in 2D doesn't really work in 3D when you translate them to 3D, or maybe I don't know, the perspective is not correct, stuff like that. But it's mostly a teamwork most of the time. Like I would say 99% of the time.
Okay. And when you say teamwork, do you have like, different sculptor working on a project, or you're the sculptor, there's like a guy who's doing the paints, a guy who's the manufacturer?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, in my case, I'm always been like the full sculptor of the figure. Like sometimes I have done only bases for some other projects, for example, that they ask me, but that's really rare. Usually I do the full sculptor by myself. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like you have the art director, you have the concept artist, then I do the sculpt, then you have the printing people, and they usually the same people that are going to do the keying and the way that it's going to be assembled, because they know exactly how it's going to be molded, what parts are going to be glued together, what parts are going to be separate for the shipping so it doesn't break and stuff like that. And then obviously, you have the painters are going to, in this case, I don't remember the name of the painter, but I love the job that they did with the pumpkin head. It looks like spot on, like right from the movie.
Yeah. Do you have do they supply you with, like actual pictures and stuff in order to...
Well, this one was a hard one to do because, the movie is an old movie and it is mostly in shadow, but you have quite a few parts, but you don't really see it like fully, with all the details and stuff. It was really hard to get all the references because I had to watch the movie like, I don't know, 30, 40 times. Like, and you have to go and watch the movie and screenshot the parts and and here you can see the back of the head, stuff like that, by frame when the kid is in frame. This one was hard because that was all the material that we had. Obviously, you have some other stuff, props for the movie, like people that did a replica, stuff like that. But finding those images are not that easy.
Okay, so no picture to work from.
No, there wasn't. Not exactly. It wasn't like the Stan Winston company sent us, all the reference or photos or anything. No.
Okay.
It wasn't like that.
Because, like I mentioned when we had a chat and stuff like that, I did acquire the very first Pumpkinhead that Sideshow made, maybe 10 years ago, maybe even more.
Yeah.
And it's been in the box for maybe 15 years. And
why?
Yeah. And and
that's a long time.
Yeah, man, all my collection was kind of in a box and stashed in boxes and stuff. And now I started to put it on display. And so I took out the Pumpkinhead, which for me was kind of a prize because back in the day they were doing 250 unit and stuff like that, so it was quite rare. And for me it was a movie that I remember because I saw it in the movie theaters and stuff, and I love Stan Winston, what he did because and I check your the head, and like we see the brain outside of it, and from what I recall on mine, the brain does not show up that much. It's not like it's more like bone structure. And I was wondering, is it because you from the movie you had access, it was showing part of that, or did you say, well, because I assume that as a sculptor, sometimes you have a bit of liberty and you say, what, mine.
Oh, yeah, but no. In this case, there was no liberty. Like the idea was to translate it as close as possible to the original one.
Okay.
But no, that is on the head. Like if I got some images from the original cast of the head, and there is a how do you call it? Backstage, or a lot of pictures that they took while they were making the suit.
Okay.
And it's actually in the Stan Winston's page. We took a lot of reference from there.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, I hope it matches as much as I try to do my best. Like, and
it
was approved. I was approved by the Stan Winston company, so I'm thinking it's okay.
Okay, so they give you a thumbs up on it. So.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you wouldn't be seeing it if they didn't.
Okay, it's awesome, and I was debating, should I get it, and still to this day, I have troubles, saying no, because there's two things. First of all, I'm running out of space. I mean, literally, it's I have really an issue of space. Since I already have one, that's one issue. Second of all, it's 27-inch high, and I'm using IKEA Besta in order to put them in, in display and stuff. And I have like a special corner for, big unit, and it's full right now. So, but I really find it really, really crazy. Especially the exclusive edition where you have like Lance Erickson look-alike face. So
yeah, that was a nice extra that we did.
Did you watch? I think because for me there's only one movie, but actually they made like two or three movies.
Yeah, they made like three.
Yeah. So
I never watched the other ones.
Okay, so it's made from the original movie and stuff.
Yeah, and because the design changed for the other ones. So yeah, we only focus on the first one.
Okay, and the you mentioned teamwork. So what's the second phase? I mean, do they wait for you to finish the first sculpt and then give you pointers of, well, for the box it should be this big and kind of crouchy, so it's not that high, because obviously they don't want to have like a 40-inch figures. How does that work?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, but in this case there was no limit of the box and everything like that. Sometimes you do have to work in certain constraints, but in this case, if it was going to be a big piece regardless. So no, I just follow like the concept, and we adjusted a little bit, as I said, but it is mostly like how the concept was designed, the pose at least. And then for the second head, I was working on them like simultaneously. When you get tired of doing one phase, I jump to the other one, stuff like that. And again, I use all the movie reference for that one as well. But no, yeah, it was mostly that. Luckily, I didn't have any major restraints to do it.
Okay.
Other than copy this, like that was the big thing.
So you don't have to supply, okay, this design and another design where the head is kind of somewhere else, or like the hands, one of them
you can do that, but it's a process. Like, it's a lot of back and forward, of feedback. Like, if I had some idea that I like, I could do that. Sometimes I do it with different status, but in this case, it goes through a certain different kind of like approval process. So, for example, if the licensors approve the concept already, like we have the pose and everything, there is no much. It doesn't make any much sense to go and then change the pose again, because you're going to have to resubmit that to be approved. If you feel like it's 100 times better and it's going to convey a better story or whatever, then yeah, you take the risk and you swallow the pill, and then you send it back and hope they approve it. But in this case, there was no point doing that. I mean, the post was really cool just from the get-go, and they had the concept approved, so it was just a matter of me like doing the best that I could with the sculpt.
Okay. Once you're done, what's the second phase that happened? Do they 3D print a product just to see how it goes, or how does that work?
Yeah. I mean, once I am done, in my case, I'm not doing keys, for example. I did cut the heads, to have the same seam line. But once I'm done, I just send them the file, and they manage doing the key, and they do the printing. And once they have the prototype, just since it's it's take over by the painters. I don't remember who painted this one.
Okay.
Sadly, sorry.
All right. So once it's painted, then it's like the prototype for the pictures and for the advertising.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So now once you have like a prototype, obviously they're not, so let's say for example they're making 1,000 unit, they don't 3D print the product.
No.
So they make a mold?
Obviously, yeah, exactly. I mean, they are not going to make a mold of this one because it's the prototype for the paint and stuff like that, but they print a new one, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like it's like the standard process like it's always been. Like you just make the physical molds and the physical copies as it's always been, from when people back in the day were doing garage kits, stuff like that. The only thing that changes, it was in all of this new era, is the digital part and the 3D printing part. Once it's 3D printed, it's always the same. Like it's always been,
Okay. But so once they do the mold, now they pour some type of resin or exactly. Like polystone for a sideshow, whatever. Yeah. They probably have their own composition, and so that creates the pieces. And after that, it's probably not like a pro painter that paints the 1,000 unit. They probably have like
no.
15 people.
I'm sure, yeah. I mean, I'm not working at the factory, but I'm sure they have a lot of people working at the factory doing the paints. Okay. And trying to match, it's going to QC and stuff like that. So they're going to try to match as the prototype as much as possible. But that's another thing that I know that painters have in mind when they're doing the status. They have to take in consideration that this is going to have to be reproduced, 1,000 times. Yeah. So they are going to do it in a way that they know that it can be reproduced. Yeah. Because you have to, again, everybody has to have their own constraints. So I'm sure the painters have their constraints as well of what they can and they cannot do.
And I assume that the factory, some people will paint the whole body, and somebody will apply the paint for the eye, the other one for the...
No idea. I assume the same, but no idea.
Okay, you never saw that?
No, I haven't been to China yet.
Okay. Well, that's...
I will someday. But I know how is the process, but I don't know how they are doing the paint application.
Okay.
I don't know if they have one person that is doing all the base colors, and then other one is doing the splattering of the skin. No, I don't really know that.
So you said that except for the head, there's no key? So there's...
For what I know, no. I'm assuming there might be a key on the tail, just to make it safer. But I don't really know.
Okay, but you should have been the one who made the key, no?
No. In this case, I didn't make the keys.
No?
That's what I was telling you. No. I only made the cut for the heads because they were sutures, but I didn't handle the keying because I always prefer like the doing the keys is handled by the people that are going to do the printing and know how it's going to be molded.
Oh, okay, I see. So
because I never done like molding and copy. I can learn, obviously. I know quite a few things, but each job is different. Like each piece is different, and some people might leave the arms and then cut the legs or whatever. They have their own ways. So for me, it's better if they do it.
Okay.
And it's a tedious job, so I rather not do it.
Okay, so basically you create the whole model, and then the people for the production may go into probably ZBrush and say, okay, with the tail, it's going to be like we have to remove the tail, so they'll make the key and they create a special part for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I have a $1,000 question for you. Okay, you see,
who's getting the 1,000?
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm
paying the 1,000. Who's paying the 1,000? I'm not paying the 1,000, right?
It's so basically, maybe you don't have the answer, but you see how this the statue is on the base, so there probably is 2 pegs, right?
Probably.
So is it, because sometimes with different statue, I'm not saying PCS, but with other statue, sometimes the peg they don't match, or the feet don't be they are not flush with the base because for whatever reason. Is it possible that once they make the mold and everything, that for some reason the statue the material will contract, or like have some type of different angle that will create that sort of situation?
Yeah, I mean, now we are not talking about specifically this. Okay, we're talking in general. Like what happens with resin and what happened with
exactly, because that has never been released, so we don't know. I'm not saying there's an issue with that statue, not at all.
No, of course.
So
no, there is nothing wrong with the pumpkin head.
No, okay, actually,
don't get me in trouble.
Yeah, no. It's a great unit.
In general, I know what you're talking about, and you have to understand that. First of all, each one of the statues that everybody gets, it is actually a kind of one of a kind, because they are done by hand. Like once, it's not like it is made by a factory, obviously, but it's not made by machines. So once you get the copy out of the mold, I don't know, usually maybe you get some cleaning to do. Like you have to you pour a little bit much, a little bit over the resin that you have to clean and sand, the seams, the lines. I don't know, the key maybe needed more resin, so you have to add it by hand, stuff like that, and then you have to connect it to the base and try to see if everything's matching. And the weather at that day also may change the resin a little bit, because resin expands with heat and contracts with cold. So it's all variables that you have to have in consideration. So I have heard, like, maybe I don't know, from 1,000 statues, maybe I don't know, 50 don't get flush with the king, between the base and that is like 5% of the whole production. So that's quite low, But as I'm telling you, like, each one of those were made by hand, actually. So it is something that you can expect. You don't want it to happen, obviously, but there are things that you just can't control, like the weather, for example. Like, if it is, if it's a production that is being probably maybe done during the summer, you might get some of those problems.
Okay, and once it's made.
But this is like my own knowledge, because talking to factories and stuff like that. Not it has nothing to do with PCS. Yeah,
and to be quite frank, one of the unit that I had an issue was not PCS at all. So it was a different company, but they're pretty much using the same type of concept and material. And I had a feeling that it was either two things, maybe the weather, like if it's too hot or too cold, or maybe they have like 2 or 3 molds, so
they made different molds. I mean, in general, they make different runs of the molds, because you can take, I don't know, between 40 and 50 pieces from one mold before the mold starts to get a little bit destroyed. So you have to remold it and do a new one and start from scratch.
Okay. So
I mean, you have all the tessellation already. You have everything. You just have to pour the resin and redo the mold.
So it's
silicone. Sorry.
And have you ever worked on any type of statue? Not saying PCS, but even one that you bought for yourself, and there was some issue. Did you ever had to like model the base, or drill a hole or something like that, or it's never something that?
But just a few. But sometimes I also get kits. And those kits, you have to do maybe you have to do the magnets. And there is a statue that I produced myself that I did for a personal job, a personal project that I did.
Mm-hmm.
There were no magnets on it. So I had to drill all the holes and do the magnets for some.
Okay.
And there were some, in some of them were a little bit of problem in the tail. The connection between the tail, it was supposed to be resting in the floor, in the ground, and it rests there. But then when it's resting, it's not connecting like flash with the body, stuff like that. So you maybe have to add some silly putty or stuff like that to make it connect perfectly.
And if you have to drill, do you use any type of special drill? Do you use like a Dremel with really fast or really slow? How, what would you recommend?
I use a Dremel.
Yeah. And
it goes like, I never go like all the way just from the first one. It goes slowly, so it's trying not to break anything.
Okay.
Because it's really a nerve-wracking situation.
Oh, for sure. Because if you crack the base in half, then.
Oh yeah, you don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
And actually, recently I print something myself because I have a few 3D printers here, and again I had to install all the magnets in some parts of the statue, and again it was like the same. Like it's not a fun time for me at all. Like, because when you're installing the magnets, for example, you have to do it in a way that they are flush with the resin, because you want the two magnets to connect.
Yeah.
Like, as much as you can. So you have to calculate how deep the hole that you're making is going to be to apply the magnet and stuff like that. So it's not a fun time for me at all. But people that are doing this work in the factory, they know what they're doing.
Trying to get you.
See, that one is a personal project that I produce, making with Connecticut. It's not out yet, but pre-order was a few months ago.
Okay.
And we're making it. And that one was the one that I told you before, that was sold through Sideshow.
It will be sold through Sideshow?
It was, it was. The pre-order was there. I don't know if it's still up there, but
okay. What's it called?
I think you have the link. It's called Mom.
Mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mom.
And not divulging, not asking you the amount, but once you do a project like that, like for the Pumpkinhead, do you get is it like a one-time fee, or do you have to? It's like an hour basis, and so if you work 300 hours, you.
No, I myself, I charge by project.
By project.
That's it. Once the project is complete and you send the file, the work is done. You don't get royalties for the sales, stuff like that.
Okay, so no royalties. No royalties.
No royalties.
Do you at least get one unit for yourself?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I asked for that. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and I think that's always important, because as a sculptor, it's really important to see the actual end product, because you are going to see it for the first time actually in the three-dimensional world. Like we're doing a sculpt and it's three-dimensional here in ZBrush, but you still seeing it as through a 2D window, you can say.
Yeah.
So once you have it in person and you see it in three-dimensional, it's a different feeling.
So
this one was also for PCS, yeah.
Yeah, because I know PCS is releasing that, and you're the one behind it.
Yeah, I did everything but the face.
Oh.
The face was done by somebody else.
Okay.
I never knew who it was.
Okay.
But I did all the rest, and it was a hard one. Like getting all the reference for the bike as well, and matching everything as close as I could to the the Purple Rain cover.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the position right, stuff like that, and figuring out how to do the bike in a way that it can be produced as a statue. Yeah. Because you can do all the elements of the original bike wherever, and if you're making those kits that you have to assemble, that can be done. Like you can have every little part, but when you're doing it as a statue, it has to be molded and produced as a statue. Is different.
For sure. And
so you need to to adjust a few things a little bit, to make it easier for production.
Yeah, because I had the plasma pulse rifle from Terminator 2, the 1-to-1 that Sideshow made. And for me, it was really Terminator 2 again, Stan Winston behind it and everything. It's like one of the favorite movie. But once I got it, and because it's made out of resin, right? So, but the gun is supposed to be some type of metal, and when you look at it really close, you don't see like seamless line, like because the resin is kind of bumpy a little bit. So it does not feel like it's metal. But when I look at your bike, it looks like really metal. Beside the paints, it looks like clean line. It's not looking like, okay, it's made out of resin.
Thank you. Yeah.
So
well, that's a thing that it is obviously helpful to do it in ZBrush, in the computer, because it's much easier to do hard surface stuff in 3D, I think, than in the physical world.
Yeah. So
to keep those lines clean, same as that.
So Figurama, so that's one of your figures?
Yeah, everything you see there is done by me. That's Blame. That's for Figurama. And I did something else for Figurama that is going to be coming out next year, I hope.
Okay.
But I cannot say what it was. See, that's what you're talking about. Those little busts that you can, have the second head there. Yeah, those are cool.
So...
yeah, collectors are asking for those, so that's a cool idea.
Yeah. I'm just going to check.
Oh, that one, I don't know why it said other content.
So
those are some personal projects.
This I like, the type of rifle that you have. I took some picture on your Facebook. Is this something that you made?
Yeah, I actually have it here.
And you 3D printed. You did print it in 3D?
Yeah, I printed myself.
Okay.
It's a Frozen Sonic Mini 8K. No, sorry, Sonic, not Mini, the Mega.
Okay, so it's a big one. I've looked it up, and it's really big, right?
Yeah, and you can see the size. This was all one print. Like, for example, this, you wouldn't print it like this if you're going to do copies and molding. You can see it better.
Yeah.
Why? Because, for example, it would be much easier to have the horns separately, and to do the molds of those.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, because it's just going to be 3D printed, it's much easier to do it like this. You have only one piece.
Yeah.
It's done.
Does it smell bad, the resin?
No. I mean, no. The new ones, they don't have the smell of the back in the day. The resin was like you have to open all the windows. If you open a can of resin. But now it's okay. I mean, you still smell a little bit, but it's not. It's like, I don't know, 5% of the smell of the original ones.
Okay. Do you use water washable resin?
No, I'm not. I know there are some, but I haven't used them yet. I'm cleaning everything with isopropyl alcohol. Isopropyl. I don't know how to pronounce it in English.
Yeah.
But you use gloves all the time, obviously, because that thing will eat your flesh.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just fine.
And
yeah, you open a window. If you're printing something and you can open a window and have a little bit of air going through, that's better.
Okay, but do you have like a garage or a place, a studio where you?
No, I actually. Sorry, I need to hang this.
Yeah, it must not fall.
Oh, yeah,
it must not fall because.
No, I have them here around. It's a nice big space. It's not small, and I have like high ceilings, so there nice flow of air. But no, I have them around here.
Okay. Have you ever used? My setup is a Lego Saturn, which is a little bit smaller. Yeah, and but I bought some of those air filter that you put inside. Apparently, it's supposed to help because
I've seen those.
Yeah, I'm concerned because I have like some type of space where if some resin fall on the floor, that's not so bad because it's like a cement floor. But, so I'm debating because if it smells bad, there's no window. I can open some window in the basement, but in the room, there's no window per se. So, I don't want to stink up the whole house with that. So,
no, yeah. I mean, if you can, make a window and do it as a ventilation vent, that would be nice for sure. Yeah. Here I have big windows, like huge. Europe, all construction, all buildings, really, really high ceilings and big windows. So I have no problem with that. But other than that, I mean, no, I don't really see an issue. Don't eat it. Don't get it into your eyes, stuff like that. Because resin is still like a little bit toxic when it's not cured.
Yeah. Did you start with that big printer or did you start small?
No, I actually started with a filament printer that I bought just because I wanted to get into the resin ones, but I just, I wanted to get the feel of it and start doing something and learning something before spending a lot of money on those. Because when I bought them, there were the biggest brand that it was out there, and the best one was Formlabs.
Yeah, very expensive.
Yeah, not any of these new brands weren't here yet. So what I did is, I bought myself a Prusa for filament. I test that one. I use it for some time, for a year or something like that. And when I was happy with and I learned a lot, I decided to go ahead and spend the money, and I bought myself the Formlabs 3. I used that like crazy. I did a lot of heads and stuff like that I produced myself. And then just because I wanted to see what's new in the market and how, to have something to compare it to, I bought myself the Orange Longer 4K. There's a mini one, there's a small one for miniatures that I'm doing as well, like stuff like this.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And you can print something like this right away. And then I got myself the other one, the Frozen Mega AK. I went through the Kickstarter and stuff like that, and it took, I don't know, like maybe 6 months to get here.
Yeah.
But now I have it, and I'm super fun. It's super fun.
So that's cool. If you look at this, that's the product that you have in the back. Yeah. But is this hand painted or it's painted through ZBrush?
No, that's painted through ZBrush, and that's a 3D rendering.
Okay.
It's not physical. That is not the physical that I have there. Okay. I mean, it's the same because actually the quality came out perfectly, but now I have to paint it to look like that. Okay. And probably my wife is going to paint it because she does painting.
She does painting better than you?
Yeah, much better. Well, for example, that pumpkin head, not the pumpkin head, sorry, that head. Well, it is a pumpkin head, but it's not the pumpkin head. She painted that one.
Okay, that's cool. And are these stuff that you worked on or?
Everything, everything that you see. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 posts that I do, but most of them are that's the Wolverine that I did for PCS as well.
Okay.
That is a bad picture, sorry, but because I took it from the TV. because they were doing the live sideshow con.
Yeah.
And that's why I took it. But yeah, that's the one that you can find in the page.
How about this one?
Those are some private commissions that I do.
Okay, so somebody who wants to contract you for pieces like that, how big is it?
It will be depend on the size that you want to print it.
Oh, okay.
But it's usually work for like a quarter scale.
Okay, so how much would we have to budget to?
No, I'm not saying, because it's going to be on YouTube, and then if I lock myself to a price,
okay,
then I don't know what's going to happen. We can talk it out of YouTube. I have no problem, but for example, I'm not taking any new clients for this year. For example, for 2022.
That's cool. I understand. So, and again, this is the first time we have a chat, so we haven't discussed any boundaries and stuff. So that's okay. If there's any issue you don't want to discuss, that's fine.
No, it's not an issue, but it's fine that you ask. But that's the reason why I don't want to say it online, and it's going to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then you see a client that sees this video, and then they're going to say, "No, you say that you're charging that."
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to raise my price or whatever.
So, but if I look at that, launch price is $24. So that's for the print, right? So we get...
Yeah, that's for the STL file. Because I have a web page, stlprints.com, where I sell some of the stuff that I do. And you can buy it and print it yourself.
Yeah. You know what? Lots of stuff is going through my head at the same time, but what type of slicer do you use?
For a longest time I was using the preform, because it was the only one that allowed me to use the Formlabs.
Okay.
But now I'm using Chitubox.
Chitubox?
Yeah, I'm using Chitubox because I can export the model with the supports, and then I can sell people the pre-support model.
Oh, okay. So, all right, that's cool.
That's very important.
Yeah, have you tried lychee?
Lychee? No, I haven't. I have a friend that tried it, but I'm just like really comfortable with Chitubox, and it's working fine for me.
Okay, so
you recommend lychee over Chitubox?
Well, the training I had, the gentleman that gave the training has been working on ZBrush like for many years, like yourself, and he's been doing 3D stuff for like maybe 2-3 years, I don't know. And he said that he used Chitubox and then tried lychee and liked lychee a little bit better. But sometimes it all depends. For me, I would have to try both to have an honest opinion. But now, if you say that when I buy the product, it already has the support that I don't have to do that, then that's fine, because you probably try the print, so that means with those support it should be okay then.
Yeah, in this case, this one, for example, I didn't do it with the supports because I didn't have any of the new machines.
Okay.
So I was doing everything with Formlabs, with the preform. So that's the only downside of using the preform, that you cannot like export the supports with the file. So all this, I did test print. I have her over the house. I can go and get it if you want. It's far away, but it was printed there in the Formlabs. So I don't have it with supports.
Okay. Well, one thing I wanted to say, before I ask you about the slicer software, was that, I was debating the fact that, I got the 3D printer that I have to go and get from the carrier. So it's really recent. I've got the resin, I've got the plate, the extra plate, and all that stuff. It's coming, right? So, but I needed the print. So right now I'm going to get that one from you because it's, affordable. So I can try it. I like the fact that, I even had that type of that pistol that she has is
nice.
It's from there's a company that makes some type of add-on for airsoft guns and it looks like pretty much the same thing. So
it looks similar.
Yeah, it's very, very similar. So So I'm going to get one of your print to try.
It is a little bit more. It's 35 euros now because that was for the launch price. But I will give you a code so you can get it for less.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's for.
This one, that's a commission
that
too.
That one was painted by my wife.
Wow.
The Instagram is all mother paint.
So this is no clothing. So everything is
that's 3D, that's all
3D print.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does your wife do? Is she a painter or?
Yeah, well, I mean, she's a makeup artist. Like she does makeup.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Well, but she studied art, and she used to paint in all oils and stuff like that. But now she's helping me with some of this stuff.
Does she use airbrush and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
She uses airbrush, and she's trying different techniques and paints and stuff.
Wow. That's pretty awesome. So if anybody wants to check all those pictures, because I think there's like 1,500 pictures. I tried to download a few yesterday, but I stopped because I had like 200-300 pictures downloaded. So I said it's not going to work on the podcast. So just type in Franco Carlismo. I don't know if I got that right, but you can see. You're doing amazing work, man. It's insane.
Thank you.
It's that's a project because I've seen something that I think it's the one you mentioned for your project.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one?
No, that's another one. The Hunter is actually a really cool. See, that's the print of the Eva model. The Hunter is actually a really cool story. It's over there. You're barely going to see his face there by the light. And it's heavy. I cannot bring it now. But it was a personal project that I did that ended up being in a TV series in Creepshow.
Creepshow?
And that was, in Creepshow. The new series that Greg Nicotero is doing.
Yeah.
For, Shadow.
Season 2?
The season 1 actually. I appear in season 1.
Okay.
In the finger is called the episode.
Okay, I have it downloaded for iPad. That's the one, right?
Yeah, there you go. And that one was painted by my wife as well. That one is painted by her.
Yeah. You know what? It
was super cool story because I was just kind of having a couple of rough months, with work and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm just going to, start doing some critters to have, to relax myself, have some fun, and try to enjoy work again because I was, having a downtime.
Yeah.
And I posted that guy, and for some reason, it kind of went viral. It was everywhere. Everybody was sharing it. And eventually, this guy, Greg Nicotero, saw it, and he contacted me. He wanted to buy the model. I couldn't buy him the model, sell him the model exactly because I was actually producing it as a statue. But we came to an arrangement. I did a few adjustments, a few changes, and then he used that character for the series. There we go. That one is.
That's the one.
Yeah, and it's in the series. It's called Bob.
Bob.
And it became Bob. You have to see the episode. It's a really fun one. But it was crazy, and he was like, "Oh no, that's the character. That's what I see. I mean, every time I'm reading the script now, that's what I see.
Yeah,
that's the character I want. Yeah."
But see, I had a feeling that this one was, out of your mind. It was full creativity. For some reason, I don't know why. Maybe because it's not like superhero or something like that, but. And to me, it's good because it's out of this world. There's no okay, I'm not, like you said, I'm not going to critique or compare it to something else. It's either you like that stuff or you don't like that stuff, right? Yeah. But for me, it works because I can see it's
Thank you very much.
It creeps me the hell out. It's like, you don't want to step out of your car at midnight, after work or something, and going to your house, and just before you get to the door, you face to face with this thing. So
yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I enjoy the most. Like doing my own stuff, of course. Doing creators, and that's making things that are not from this world, are not real, but you can see them and feel that they are real. That's the whole reason why I got into art.
Yeah.
Like it was always the best part for me, like about doing art, because like I don't like doing like realist. Like I don't find like super like enjoyment in doing like super accurate realist humans, for example.
Yeah.
That's not really fun for me. Like I rather create stuff that is not here, like it doesn't exist.
Okay, I have to talk to you about this. This is way too much. Are you the guy who made that?
Yeah. If it's in my page, I made it, and there are many things that I haven't uploaded. Yeah, I made that, and that was painted by Chavus. That's an amazing painter.
But was it made, like? Because I know a guy in Montreal who bought that.
Okay.
So
yeah, it was a private commission. Once I do the statue, that's it. What they do with the statue is out of my reach.
Okay, but you made it to somebody, and then is it possible that they made like a 300 unit or something like that? Okay, yeah. Because and this one is big. Have you seen it? They gave you one?
No, I don't have one yet. But yeah, it's for what I know is 1/3 scale.
Yeah, 1/3 scale, quite expensive. It's there in the range of, I think, more than $2,000 US. But that's one that I was going like, it's a crazy piece, man. It's a crazy piece. So because
you like it.
Oh yeah, and I had no knowledge that you were the artist that made that. Because I saw that some collectors, because I browsed the various Facebook group, and you have people that have collection that like are out of this world.
Insane and beautiful collections. Yeah.
I wish that I'd be able to print money like they do, So
yeah, me too.
And when I
I kind of
when I saw that, I said, man, this is crazy, and it's insane. So so when you do ZBrush stuff, I understand that you don't have to take into account the scale.
No, no, but you should, because, for example, when you're working on something that you know what the output is going to be, like, let's say this guy is going to be 1/3 scale, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you know that and the size and everything, you know how much detail you can put on it, because the digital files, that's the thing, that you can zoom in as much as you want, and you're always going to have room to make details.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're doing something that you know is going, the end product is going to be something that is physical, it's good to know a little bit about how the scale, because then you can focus all your effort in putting the right amount of details.
Okay, but does ZBrush say, okay, well, like this spike or this blade should be I don't know, like 2 inches, so therefore you can measure that in ZBrush, or
yeah, you can do that if you want. Okay. I give this a lot. For example, I'm printing all my stuff, and I set the scales in ZBrush, and then just export it as I want it to be from ZBrush.
Okay.
I don't use a third-party software to set the scale.
Okay. And so like a piece like that, once you've done it, do you 3D print it, or since it's a commission, you just send the file and the person?
No, I just send the file to the client.
And not mentioning amount of money and stuff like that, but the hours that you have to put in a work like that,
that's
or the pumpkin.
Yeah. This one took me around 3 months.
3 months full time.
I wouldn't say full time, but yeah, I just average like 4 hours a day.
At least.
5 days a week. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because
you have to consider that you have feedback. You have to go back and forward with the client, stuff like that.
Okay.
So there's things that you do that then you get changed and stuff like that.
Because the gentleman that was giving the course on ZBrush had like an evil Yoda, if you want, and it was on his art station and stuff like that. And I was looking and I asked him, how much time did you spend? He said around like 6 months, going back and forth, not full time and stuff. And sometimes he would not work on it. So that was like the elapsed time, but he put like 200 hours for one model. So
yeah, I can say that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not saying I didn't work exactly every day 4 hours on it, but it was a lapse of time of 3 months, and I kind of averaged on that time.
Yeah.
But that was 5 years ago. I think I did that one.
Okay.
It was one of the first ones.
Do you know those company that produced that after that, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can talk after.
Okay, and this is a commission too?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's
so you've got different head.
Yeah.
Oh man.
For the switch outs.
This is
Dr. D.
Yeah. So this is inspired by the sideshow one?
No.
No?
No, I didn't. I mean, I didn't use that one as reference. But the client sent me an illustration.
Okay.
Like most of what people do, same with art directors, they give you an illustration, to go for.
Okay.
There.
This one is insane. I'm trying to find words for that one.
It's over there. You cannot see it. It's small, but it's over there.
Yeah. The very first premium format that I ever got was the Green Goblin from Sideshow. And to me, the purple and the green was, incredible. The Green Goblin is, I grew up reading Spider-Man comic books and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But most of the time they were either black and white and stuff. So for me, it was really the picture, the color were really, really good. And I just put that on display about 3 months ago. So it's been sitting in a box again for like almost 20 years now.
That's a long time.
Yeah. So and back
because
in the
you probably have a lot of grails then.
For sure.
they are not even in the market now.
Yeah, and back in the day, it was costing like $250 US.
Yeah,
but that was not bad. Today 1/6 scale from Hot Toys is costing that much. But so this again, the coloring is from ZBrush.
Yeah. I do that.
You should do prints. You should have like this. Put in a frame or something like that. This is creepy.
You can. I mean, if you like it, you can. It's a high quality image, I think. So you can get it if you want.
Yeah. So this you made for a commission?
Yeah.
Okay. So
there is some. Yeah, that was some time ago.
Okay, so somebody say, for example, I like it. Now I cannot go to you and say, okay, I would like to buy it because
no. I only do one file for the client and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't resell the file.
Okay, so was this like sold as a product or as a file?
No, me, I sell it as a file.
As a file, okay.
The client asks for it and I do one file for them and that's it.
Okay,
it's like an artist doing an illustration at a convention.
All right. So say, for example, somebody would like to have the same figures, but different configuration for the arms, like throwing the thing. Would not be the same. Maybe instead of this base, it's on a jet glider or whatever. So it would take you less time to build one?
No, but no, I wouldn't do that because that wouldn't feel right.
Okay,
like,
so you would not do the same.
I wouldn't take something that I did already and readjust it, and resell it.
Okay, but it could work, to some extent. And even the first person that bought
yeah, I can assure you it could work and I could make money out of that, but I don't see it as right. Like,
so you wouldn't you would not do a same character twice then?
No, yeah, I will do the same character twice, but I will do it from scratch.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't reuse what I did, even if you want the same kind of design, the same.
But for me, it's the head.
Close.
The head is crazy, so I wouldn't want you to change anything for the head, because that's, the Green Goblin, it's all about the head, so.
No, yeah, that's a different thing because, for example, in faces, I have my own way of doing the faces, so I probably will redo it, but it will end up looking like very similar. Like, it wouldn't be exactly the same. It wouldn't be the same model, but it would, because I have a way of doing the face of a character, for example.
Yeah. This one is painted or is ZBrush painted?
That one is painted. It's ZBrush painted. It's not physical. Most of what you see there is not physical. It's all 3Ds.
Because this one is great. If it were to come out with paints like that, there's so many Silver Surfer fan that would be, you've got, that is crazy, man. And there's no limit. You would want to do Dracula, you could do Dracula. You want to do old school Frankenstein or modern Frankenstein, I mean, you have the ability to do that. So, is this part of your own work?
Yeah. Everything that is not, I have it separated in different categories, but everything that is not superhero related, it's personal work.
The shape of water. Have you seen that movie? It looks like those type of creature. Are you influenced by that? What is the influence that or the stuff that you like?
Well, I kind of love all my life, like same as you, like Aliens, Predator, Terminator 2, all those kind of movies with physical, you can say, characters like this. Say, for example, Labyrinth, Fantasy. It was Fantasia, Fantasy, right? The movie, what's the name? God damn it! Well,
Legend.
There we go. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Legend. I was looking for the right. Ridley Scott directed that one. Legend stuff. All those kind of movies. They were the ones that I love as a kid. They are like impregnated in my brain, I think, and I kind of loved all those kind of characters, like horror and fantasy style, and a lot of magazines as well. I mean, my heroes were, as I said, like Rick Baker, like Stan Winston, all the VFX guys, because as a kid I wanted to do that, SFX. But since I was living back there in Argentina, in Mar del Plata, there was no chance of doing that. So eventually, when I saw Jurassic Park, and I realized about that those were made by, a lot of parts were made by computer, and I knew about computers, and I could get a computer. I decided that was the route that I was going to go. And then Toy Story and stuff like that. You started seeing a lot of 3D things made by computers. So that's when I decided to go into 3D in computers, you can say, like sculpting in 3D. Modeling. Back then it was modeling. There was no ZBrush. You have to learn to model by polygons.
Yeah. I have a customer that works on special effect. Actually doing mold and stuff. Like old school. And right now he had to find another job because it's going downhill, right?
And he worked like on movie like 300 and stuff like that, like TV shows locally that are really popular. But I think this electronic business, it's picking up a lot more than props and stuff.
Well, yeah, it happened like a long time, like I don't know, a little bit over a decade ago. I mean, in fact, after there's this, I don't know if you know Phil Tippett from Tippett Studios.
Yeah.
He was in Hollywood. He was the go-to guy to make stop motion animation for creatures and stuff like that. And he worked actually he was going to work in Jurassic Park, and then they developed this new technology of doing the dinosaurs in CG, and he helped with the animation, constructing some puppets, to translate the data into the movie. But after that, he went in a big depression because he felt that he was completely out of work.
Yeah.
Because CG was going to take over. And eventually, I mean, he was right. He did. Nowadays, there are things that are being done, luckily, by puppeteers and physical stuff. They are merging again, the physical and the CG. That is, in my opinion, the correct way to go, because you can always tell when something is fully digital. Like the awesome thing about Jurassic Park, it was that it was a mix. You had sometimes you have the big giant puppet that was amazing, and then sometimes you have the CG. But it was the combination, the genius of Spielberg doing that got the result that it did.
Yeah.
But yeah, for what I know, a lot of studios like closed shops in US, and yeah, it's not the same as it used to be. And there is actually a podcast that I follow that is called the Dark Art Society podcast, and it's run by a guy called Chad Sarr, and he used to be a FX guy, and then he's now doing a lot of oil paint and stuff like that. But he does a lot of interviews with his old mates, and they talk about shooting about the shop and stuff and things they used to do. And yeah, it's true that a lot of guys are not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
They move on to different stuff. But yeah, for me, it's a shame. But I don't know, I might say I got lucky that I went to the digital state of doing that. But yeah, it's a form, for me, it's a form of art. Like it's craftsmanship, doing something like that, and having the physical object there in the screen, I think is much better, like always.
Yeah. Do you have like do you work on a screen? Like how do you work?
Yeah, I'm not working in VR. Yeah, I'm working with the Cintiq, the one that you draw on top of the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work with those mostly. But I'm going to get a little bit into the VR helmets,
Yes.
I want to try that. Yeah, I want to try that, definitely.
And what's the software for that? Is it like the Adobe one?
Yeah, I think it's the Adobe Medium is the best one out there.
Medium?
These days, I think.
Yeah, Medium's been bought by Adobe, and I think they rename it. But I'm currently in a class that teach about VR, but they not especially for modeling and stuff like that, but it covers a lot of ground on everything that has to do with virtual reality and with the Quest 2 and what have you. And they actually give you one during the course so that you can fool around with it.
Yeah.
And we see application in industry, in training, even like for soft skill or something like that. So a lot of people are learning. And I found out that some people, they will use 3D virtual goggle to actually sculpt, say, for a car. And they can move around, but at the same time, I'm in Montreal, you're in Spain, and you're inside that virtual space, and we are, discussing, and I go like, okay, I would like this, and you go like, oh, no, I would have like a different line, and you do it yourself, and I see, so it's crazy. So fast forward in 10 years.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I want to get into it, because, for example, let's say I'm doing a statue like this store that I did. That's another company that I work for, Legendary Beast Studios. That is a sister company of XM. like for example, let's say I'm doing a new tour statue, right? And these guys are in Singapore. We have a review. Instead of me sending them like the images, like you know, as a sculptor, as a freelance guy, you don't want to send them, the file if you haven't finished it yet, because there are chances. You don't want to take those risks. You're sending something that you didn't get paid for it yet, and stuff like that, and it's not finished, and they can adjust and change it, whatever, and you wouldn't be aware. So there are reasons why you are not going to send them the file, and every person has a particular way of working, so it will be weird of sending the file in mid work in progress. But let's say I'm doing this and I have my helmet. You over here, or they over there in Singapore, they get the helmet on. We just review it together. I show them the statue in this virtual world. Yeah, adjust this, do that. I do it, 10 minutes, and there we go. It's done. And you see the actual, like, I know it's not physical, but it feels a lot more three-dimensional.
Exactly.
Right? You can walk around it, you can turn it, you can see it feels three-dimensional. This, what I'm doing still feels like two-dimensional because I'm doing it in a 2D screen. So it's never the same. You have to adjust the perspective of the camera, and it's not the same because we are locked to one perspective. Like we see around what is in camera in, let's say, in lens is like 50 millimeters lens, what we can see. In the ZBrush, I can change the lens focus for, I don't know, 28 millimeters, 50, 80, whatever I want. So it's never the same. It's always like constant changing. If we are in the VR world, where I know that we are all going to see the same thing, so that would be really cool. Like having a review of something that you're doing like that, I think will make it much easier. Yeah.
So you did work for XM?
Yes, not directly for XM. I'm always working for the other guys.
Okay.
I did for Legendary Beast Studio. That is it's this, like, I don't know, it's a branch of XM, something like that.
Okay.
Because they are doing the 1/3 line status, and they are doing that.
Okay.
That one is a personal project that I'm doing. It's done, but I have to print it.
This is
face
quite
is different now. Yeah.
This is quite nice.
Thank you.
Like the guns and stuff. Like, I'm really into that. So the weapon.
I kind of like that kind of stuff because also influenced by like heavy metal magazine.
Yeah.
CMOG magazine, like Simon Beasley artists, Fran Frazetta style. Like I love all those kind of guys as well. So all that kind of stuff reminds me of that. Like,
so
I don't know if you know.
V-Metal, it's back in the day, but can we expect that to be downloadable from your STL file?
No, that's like too much to be only a STL. It would have to be too expensive. I wouldn't get what I put into it, but I'm going to produce it as a statue.
Okay, so you would be selling it as a statue.
Yeah, I will be selling. I don't know if I'm going to be selling it as a kit, probably. Okay. So I will have people, to paint it in different kind of ways. But yeah, I'm going to produce that one. It's a line. It's a line called Neon Girls.
Neon Girls?
Yeah, Neon Girls.
That's the site, or that's the line?
No, that's the name of the line.
Okay.
But once you will get noticed for sure. Once I produce it, I will let you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Figuring out stuff like budgeting and stuff like that. But yeah, luckily I have quite a few people that are interested in that one.
Yeah. Do you know about Games Workshop stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you into Warhammer K and?
Not myself, but I was just I have a friend that is big into Warhammer. Yeah, I really enjoy all the lore. Yeah. I did something for Warhammer, but I don't think it's ever going to be produced.
Why?
I don't know. Like I did it for a company, and it's been, I don't know, over 3 years now, I think. So I don't think it's ever going to be produced. But I did one of the main characters as a 1/4 scale statue.
Is that right? That would have been really, really cool.
No, yeah, that would be amazing. It was a really cool project. It was super hard to do.
Yeah.
Took me a long time. Yeah, it was a lot of work. So yeah, it's really saddens me that it's not going to be produced, I think.
You know how at Prime 1 they made one character from like Blood Angel. I've got it upstairs. It's way too huge. It's so heavy. It's insane. So quarter scale is good scale because it kind of punch visually, and it's not that big. You can store it. The box you don't have to rent a warehouse.
And the guys from Warhammer are actually like bigger than regular humans. So it will be quarter scale. It will be big enough. I think that one that you have is 1/3 scale.
Possibly.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, I see it in that one. The one with the hammer.
Is that the one with the hammer? He's got a chain sword, power sword, and he's got a bolter and an axe. And he's got like a standard helmet and the face like he's a sergeant or something.
Oh, no, yeah, I know which one.
So
I was confused.
Blood Angel or Blood Raven, something like that.
Yeah.
But my gut feeling was they're going to produce maybe a space orc. They're going to introduce a Katashan or, like a Cadian or something like that.
But they didn't, right?
So that would have been cool. Back in the day, again, Sideshow had produced smaller figures from the Warhammer 40K line, and I think I got them all. They were not that expensive. It was like $60, and it was about 6-inch scale statue. But they stopped producing that, and it was really, really a nice line.
Yeah, well, it's all depending on the clients. I mean, how many they sell actually.
So
like if the line is working, they're going to keep producing them. If not,
this is like your part of your Neon Girls.
Yeah, that was a sketch that I did. Yeah. The thing is that this line, the hard part is to sell people something new, and the thing is that I don't really have a full-fledged backstory for the characters yet.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're getting to me in Monsterpalooza.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like it's not easy to sell something purely on aesthetics these days. For example.
Yeah.
Like they might. That's the kit of the hunter, the one that I told you.
So this could be sell.
Yeah, I sold those.
Okay.
I sold like, I don't know, 40 or something like that.
And how much are they worth?
I think they were 450.
450 euros?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, but that's for an exclusive statue that it's limited production and everything. So.
Yeah, so there are only like right now I think it wasn't 40, it was 30. And I think I have like 2 left. And that's it. There are no more, and I'm not going to make any more.
30 euro or 300?
No, 30.
30 euro. Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, there are only 30 of them. What I was talking about, what I was saying? Warhammer. No, Warhammer. No, we're talking about. I lost my train of thought.
You mentioned, because I want to pass the personal pictures and everything.
The line. Yeah.
But
no.
Those were Monsterpalooza, so you were in the States?
Yeah, I've been there quite a few times. But I mean, Monsterpalooza, I only went in 2019. I was planning of going back 2020, but what happened? Yeah. So I will see. Probably will go again next year.
Was it?
Yeah, Monsterpalooza was fun.
You liked it?
Yeah, I love it. It was heaven for me. Like, I want to go again. I went with my wife and my daughter, and we have a lot of fun. That is like where I want to be all year around. He's surrounded by cool artists, creature stuff, all that.
This one is your personal stuff too, right?
Yeah.
This is cool.
Finished that one.
This is really cool with the the rider and everything. So
yeah,
and because Monsterpalooza, what what I liked about that was that I looked, because for us going in the States, that wasn't so bad before the pandemic and everything, and you could actually get training. Like you would buy maybe a sculpt or something like that, and they would teach you how to paint and stuff. So they had like workshop for obviously you could give one, but for me starting from scratch, that would be cool. This is a special project that you made. That's a commission.
Yeah. Look.
And who commissioned you? Is it people in Europe or the States or Asia or?
It's everywhere.
Everywhere?
Yeah.
Storm. I mean, you have been quite active, my friend. It's like pictures and pictures and.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
This one's nice too. That's a superhero character, right?
Yeah, that's Domino.
Yeah, and we can see that she's got different arms. So different weapons and stuff. So would it be easy? Say, for example, I have a sideshow Deadpool statue.
Wait. Sorry. Wait. Because my headphones are dying. I need to plug them.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. Say, for example, I have a Deadpool statue from Sideshow. He's got like an arm where the hands come off, and he's got like that big giant pistol that, it's comic book version of whatever, If I were to scan it, import that in ZBrush, could it be easy to take off the big gun and go online and find an STL file from MP5 and then try to match the MP5 on the arm? Is that something?
That's doable.
That's doable. Like, for you, you would start from scratch, right?
No. That's different because you are just like trying to make a switch out of something that already exists. Yeah. But that's something that you could learn how to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you haven't started your school yet, right?
No. I do a few things on YouTube, but I did I did a statue and I did it from scratch to the end, to the printing process.
Yeah.
But it's all a mess. Like I started doing it in English, then friends came over. It's in Spanish. It's a mess, But I don't know. Some people luckily learn a few things from those videos.
Because lots of artists now, they use like Twitch or Patreon, and they film themselves while they work. And people, so sometimes people, they will say, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And, as they work, people can watch how they do it. And, like if you're on Patreon or something like that, you have to pay for that. So that's another source of income for artists.
Yeah, but the thing is that I work on all different hours. Like sometimes I'm working at 2-3 a.m., and I don't like having a schedule, stuff like that.
Okay.
And when I do those videos, I just do them mostly for fun and to help people and just to work on something personal. But when I'm doing stuff for clients, I can't show what I'm doing.
Oh,
so
for
what
sure.
I'm doing most of the time, because of licensing, for example.
Yeah, that's true.
So I cannot be doing something for PCS and being charging people to see me how I do it and teach them how I do it.
Would have to be like something like that it's personal, that that's your own stuff. But
that one I have to finish it. I would love to spend some time and finish her because I'm on a fantasy stage right now. I want to do some fantasy stuff again.
Yeah.
So I like doing fantasy now. I mean, I always go from one thing to the other one, cyberpunk, fantasy, horror. and now I'm doing some fantasy stuff that I'm having fun with.
Okay. Hey, listen, thank you so much. I probably would chat with you another hour and so, but I've taken, a lot of your time. I really appreciate that. I just love the stuff that you do. It's, sometimes people, they will do superhero and that's it, but you do all sorts of stuff, creative stuff out of the mainstream. And you're able to do various things, like horror, superhero, science fiction. This one I just love. So again, if people want to learn more about your work, they can go on Facebook, Franco Carlismo. You can do the same thing with ArtStation. You just type in the same name, and it will show the portfolio that you have. If we want to follow you on Instagram, do you have like
it's all the same name.
Luckily,
there is none other Franco Carlismo out there, so it's all the same name.
Well, that's for sure. You're quite unique, my friend. It's you're doing a lot of nice work. I've seen that. That's a barbarian, and from World of Warcraft Sideshow. I have one from Sideshow. An old one, again a Grail, and it's but yours is different. It's got like the dragon where he's like slayed. And I check and I said, well, is it? No, it's not the same one. It's totally different, but it's probably the same character. This I love too.
That's being produced. That's a personal thing as well that I did with some guys back in the day, but things fell through. I don't know what they did, but they disappeared.
Okay.
But luckily, someone else picked up the project. Yeah, I don't know. People are nuts in this hobby. But somebody else picked up the project and they are finishing the production luckily.
Yeah.
So she's going to be ready in a few months.
That's awesome. Hey, listen, thank you so much. Again, thank you for your time. I'm pretty sure that we should invite you, like a few months down the road, because you will probably have produced a lot more stuff, and there's probably going to be a question and stuff. And, if you ever come to Montreal, make sure to tell me. I'll show you around the store and we can go and grab a bite to eat or something like that. Maybe we'll see each other at Monster Palooza down the road. We never know.
That would be great.
Yeah. So, and if people want to get in touch with you, they can always get through Facebook if they want to have a commission or a special project. You said that you are not taking any more projects.
No, I'm not taking any new clients this year. So thank you. Not at this moment.
All right. So
I was just going to say thank you, Daniel, for the invitation. I had a lot of fun. We definitely should do this again.
Thanks. So I'm going to stop the recording now. Salut! Donc, je suis de retour. Je ne sais pas si vous avez apprécié la conversation. Évidemment, c'était en anglais, donc le podcast est principalement lié pour... il est en français, là, fait que c'est plus les gens du Québec, même de la France ou les francophones à travers les États-Unis ou le Canada. Donc, mais je pense que c'était quand même, je pense, facile d'accès malgré tout. C'était quand même très graphique, très visuel. Vous avez vu les différents produits qu'il a conçus. On peut même jeter un coup d'œil sur son ça s'appelle son ArtStation. C'est comme un portfolio en ligne pour les artistes. Donc, vous allez sur ArtStation, puis vous pouvez jeter un coup d'œil sur les différents produits. Donc, ça, on voit que c'est sa conception. Il a mentionné aussi que cette créature-là est dans la série télévisée Creepshow, qu'on peut retrouver sur iTunes ou des fois, si vous avez d'autres moyens, ou ça va sûrement sortir en DVD. Et c'est le créateur, je pense, des effets spéciaux de Walking Dead, qui est Nick Cotero. je pense. Il me semble que je massacre son nom un peu. Mais donc, c'est lui qui s'occupait, je pense, de Creepshow. Et donc, c'est une créature qu'on peut voir. Moi, j'ai la série télévisée de Creepshow. Je vais jeter un coup d'œil, mais il me semble que ça me dit quelque chose, cette figurine-là ou cette créature-là. Il me semble que je l'avais déjà vue. Alors, comme vous pouvez voir, tous les éléments qui sont un petit peu plus fantastiques, donc qui ne sont pas reliés nécessairement aux super-héros ou à des films ou quoi que ce soit, c'est ses créations directement de son propre cru. Là, fait que c'est quand même intéressant. On voit ici le Carlismo Original. Et après ça, ben, on tombe dans tous les différents produits qu'il a créés pour des commissions. Donc, si on regarde, ça, c'est un des produits qui est quand même assez surprenant. Là. C'est un Aliens qui se bat contre un prédateur. Et c'est à l'échelle 1-3, donc c'est assez gros, merci. Vous voyez le niveau de détail. Donc, ça, c'est une création qui est de son concept. Et puis, ça a été produit, comme il expliquait, lui, il se fait approcher par des gens un peu comme PCS pour travailler sur différents projets. Un coup qu'il a travaillé sur le projet, il donne le fichier à la personne qui est le propriétaire qui a fait la demande, en l'occurrence par exemple PCS. Et puis il disait que c'est un travail d'équipe parce qu'après ça, tu as des gens qui vont prendre sa sculpture. Et eux autres, dans le fond, même à travers le projet, il y a des discussions parce que des fois, il faut que tu l'assembles, cette figurine-là. Des fois, il va y avoir des... Par exemple, si on prend cette statue-là, ben, la queue est quand même assez complexe. Donc, quand tu vas arriver au niveau du packaging, ça peut être dangereux à ce moment-là d'avoir une pièce, une statue juste en un morceau. Donc, des fois, ça serait même très difficile à expédier. La boîte serait peut-être trop grosse. Donc, il y a une personne qui est en charge de découper, ni plus ni moins, la statue en différents morceaux. Et étant donné que c'est des gens qui vont faire de l'impression 3D pour créer le prototype, ils vont faire ce qu'on appelle des clés. C'est-à-dire que si on a deux morceaux qui rentrent un dans l'autre, donc ça va être le morceau qui rentre à l'intérieur va être la clé, ni plus ni moins. On pourrait dire que c'est la serrure, l'endroit où ce que la clé va rentrer. Ce qui fait que ça vient renforcer, par exemple, si on prend un bras qui va dans une épaule ou la tête qui va sur le corps. Donc, c'est pour que ça tienne. Souvent, il va y avoir des aimants qui vont être impliqués à l'intérieur de ça. Puis d'autres fois, ça va être simplement une tige de métal ou simplement une clé, dépendamment de la position et tout. Donc, il va y avoir un spécialiste qui va faire ce découpage-là. Il va avoir une impression 3D. Puis par la suite, ils vont créer des moules parce que s'ils produisent 1000 statues, ils ne peuvent pas faire nécessairement 1000 statues en impression 3D. Donc, j'ose anticiper, on n'a pas discuté de ça, mais j'imagine que dans le passé, avant qu'on ait de l'impression 3D, les gens faisaient carrément une sculpture. Ça devenait quelque chose qui était très dur. Puis là, à ce moment-là, ils faisaient un moule. Donc, c'est vraiment une pièce qui est vraiment intéressante. Alors, si vous regardez, bon, il y a différents projets. Il y a des statues là-dessus que me semble avoir vu dans des collections de personnes. Et je mentionnais que le Green Goblin, pour moi, j'ai un coup de cœur parce que j'apprécie énormément l'espèce de match entre le mauve et le vert. Donc, je trouve que c'est très réussi. Puis, je disais, ça, c'est une image qui est incroyable. Ça, c'est digitalisé, là. C'est fait à l'ordinateur. Puis, les effets de peinture, de lumière, etc., c'est tout fait dans le logiciel ZBrush, qui est, soit dit en passant, très puissant, mais excessivement compliqué. Mais on peut voir quelqu'un qui le maîtrise bien. Il disait que ça faisait au-dessus de 10 ans qu'il fait ça. Et tu peux accomplir des choses vraiment incroyables, là. Donc, fait que si jamais vous voulez jeter un petit coup d'œil là-dessus. Puis, il y a aussi, je crois que c'est ici, on voit Franco Carlismo, son Facebook.
Donc, c'est quelque chose qui est quand même très intéressant. Si vous pouvez passer des heures à regarder les différents produits qu'il a fait, là, il y a 1548 images. Fait que c'est ça, j'avais commencé au début à conserver des photos pour pouvoir les présenter et tout, mais il y a trop de matériel. Donc, je vous invite à le suivre sur Facebook, à le suivre aussi sur Instagram. Il mentionne que c'est Franco Carlismo aussi. Donc, s'il y a quelque chose, vous pouvez rentrer en contact avec moi, puis je vous donnerai les coordonnées. Donc, c'est vraiment quelque chose de vraiment intéressant. J'espère que vous avez apprécié. Ça fait quand même, je regarde, ça fait 2h20 qu'on est live. Fait que c'était quand même une entrevue très intéressante. Moi, j'ai grandement apprécié. Il était vraiment généreux là, de ses observations, ses commentaires par rapport à son expérience dans la création de statut. Et l'autre chose aussi, c'est que si vous aimez son travail, ben c'est ça. Il y a la statue Pumpkinhead qui a créé, qui est tirée du film d'horreur Pumpkinhead, qui est vraiment incroyable. C'est un personnage que moi j'ai vu au cinéma. Donc, c'est vraiment la magie. La version exclusive a le visage de Lance Erickson. Donc, je ne vous vendrai pas le punch là, par rapport au film si vous ne l'avez jamais vu. C'est une statue qui est environ 27 pouces de haut, assez bien détaillée. Donc, si vous aimez ce genre de film d'horreur, ça peut être quelque chose de très intéressant. Vous pourriez rentrer en contact avec nous. Là, c'est distribué par Sideshow. Donc, on a la possibilité là, de commander ces produits-là. La seule chose, c'est qu'il faut le faire rapidement parce que je pense que même la période de commande pour les marchands est expirée. Toutefois, il y a toujours moyen là, de regarder avec Sideshow s'il y a la possibilité d'acquérir un morceau ou deux. C'est des produits qui ne sont pas donnés. C'est quand même assez dispendieux. Mais quand vous voyez là, le travail qui est fait, la pièce comme telle, mais là, on comprend mieux tout le travail qui est impliqué à l'intérieur de ça. Il mentionnait qu'il peut passer 3 mois à travailler sur un produit comme ça, pratiquement à temps plein. Il me parlait d'environ une vingtaine d'heures par semaine, multiplié par 3 mois. Donc, ça, c'est juste la partie de la conception, de la sculpture. Après ça, il y a tout le volet de la production, de la peinture et tout. Donc, on comprend mieux là, pourquoi ces produits-là, dans le fond, sont si dispendieux. Alors, écoutez, un gros merci. Je ne veux pas abuser. Donc, on va se revoir mardi prochain. Entre-temps, ben écoutez, venez nous voir chez Imagination Hobby, ça nous fait toujours plaisir. On est là les jeudis, vendredis de 11h à 9h, le samedi de 10 à 5. Pas besoin de prendre de rendez-vous. J'ai encore des gens qui m'appellent, qui me disent « faut-tu prendre un rendez-vous? » Le lundi, mardi, mercredi, on est fermé, mais vous pouvez fonctionner par rendez-vous, donc ça va nous faire plaisir. Le dimanche, ben généralement, on est fermé parce que c'est la journée où on travaille sur tous les aspects de la vie courante, là, l'épicerie et compagnie, donc toutes ces choses-là, c'est pas mal la seule journée qui me reste. Donc, pour le reste, ben, ça nous fait toujours plaisir de vous voir, de vous écrire, de vous voir les commentaires écrits. Vous pouvez nous écrire en tout temps. Donc, c'est ça qui est ça. Alors, à la prochaine et encore une fois, un gros merci.